Hello, my name is Stephen Hosking, and I'm here to talk to you about certificates in a zero trust environment being deployed from Intune. I am part of the Windows Commercial Enablement Group as a senior product manager. Part of this conversation, we're going to be talking about certificates. It's the thing that everybody gets scared about and everything is dependent upon. Certificates around the world. It is very important to take the time to understand what certificates are for and being used for in your environment. So at a very high level, as you can see, I've got Copilot to create this very nice catchphrase of certificates provide secure, verifiable identities for users and devices in a zero trust environment. This is very important, and it is part and basis of that never trust, always verify catchphrase. It is part of the verification process where I am issuing you and the device a certificate to be able to get access to your corporate or my corporate resources. So what does that look like in the Intune world? It is an additional authentication object. So technologies like EAP TLS authentication require the user or the device to have a certificate issued to the device. This is where you have a certificate that has a usage or key usage, which we call here in the certificate extension types. This is where it's expected that you have client authentication or user authentication associated with that extension. Why that's important and why we're calling out whether you need to have device certificates or user certificates is because you or your identity team, your infrastructure team, or your networking team have to identify and tell you what that's going to be used for. If I have a server certificate, it's not going to work for a workstation connection and vice versa. So this is where it's a matter of identifying what is required for your authentication brokering before you then step down the path of how am I going to issue that certificate. We have a few high-level certificate delivery technologies in Intune: SCEP, PKCS, and Cloud PKI. Cloud PKI is by far the easiest solution we have in the service. This is where you can go and sign up to Intune Suite and provide a certificate out to your workstations to be able to authenticate to your network and use them where required. If you need additional controls and everything associated, this is where you may look at PKCS and SCEP, but these are typically going to be more complex and time-consuming to maintain in your environment and will require a level of understanding of certificates for everybody in your team. So with that in mind, who do I talk to find out more information about how my certificates are used in my environment? I called out the networking team, my identity team, and my infrastructure team. What you might also find is your application teams are using certificates as part of their authentication brokering component, and you need to work with them to make sure that you can authenticate to those services. Certificates are very important in a zero trust environment, as it is part of how we trust but verify. It is that second factor of authentication in many circumstances. So from there, the question comes back to, well, do you really trust your devices, or should you be always verifying to make sure that they are secure? Our position is never trust it, always verify it. It's the way to make sure that you can trust your technology provider and your technology stack when it's connecting together.